Okay, so it broke right in the weld. And you can see how little penetration there is. Hi, everybody. So you've seen these shorts and videos that I've been commenting on about this tacking method. And I've had a lot of people actually defend the tacking method and say that it's the best alternative for stick welding thinner materials. I'm going to show you guys the difference between the tacking method and the standard drop and drag. So what I have 3 pieces, and this is, well, we'll measure it real quick. Now I'm going to do all of this uncut, unedited, in order to prove that I am doing this without cheating. My battery's going dead. So this is, I don't know if you can see it or not, the 0.076 or 077. So that would be probably 14 gauge, if I remember right. 14 gauge sheet metal. So I got 3 pieces. We're going to do one standard butt weld, the tacking method, and then we're going to do another weld on the other side, traditional drop and drag. I'm going to be using some Blue Demon 6013. Please support Blue Demon and all their products. I've used their products for 10 plus years. I love everything they make, especially their filler metals and their welding rods. So, and they're a sponsor of my channel. So greatly appreciate you supporting them. Also, I use their Blue Demon hood. One of my favorite hoods, Pano V2. True color, has a little light on it. There you go. There's a light. Really nice hood. But anyways, we got my S-Welder CT2050 behind me. And we are going to do this using 6013. I'm going to be running at 75 amps for this. Okay. First way we're going to do this is the tacking method. I'm not going to try and get full penetration. I'm going to get as much penetration as I can get, but I'm probably not going to get full penetration on this. If I do, that's great. But the first method I'm going to do is the tacking method. So first thing is, in those videos, you see them butt this stuff up real nice and flat like so, straight up on it, okay? Tack the top, tack the bottom, and then tack across. I am expecting a little bit of warpage, but we're not going to worry about that for this specific application. Hood didn't go on. Come on now. Okay. So I got 2 tacks there. Of course, now I can't see because my hood, forgot to turn my hood on. I'm going to try and get, the best weld that I can do with this method. I'm going to do this as unbiased as I can. So I'm going to give it every opportunity. So what you see these guys do is they take this rod, fire it up, get a tack, let go, fire it up, give it a tack, let go, fire, and all the way across. That way they don't, the idea is so they don't burn all the way through and create a giant hole. So I'm going to do the best job that I can do with this. Now I'm going to elevate this a little bit so it doesn't move on me too much. Actually probably going to tack it to the table too so it doesn't move anymore. Come on now. Okay, there. So now I'm actually going to go into my machine and turn my hot start up a little bit. Arc force. Okay. Turn my hot start up a little bit. And I'm going to tack across. Now you see in these shorts that they do it sped up. I'm not going to speed it up. I'm going to do it real time. And I'm going to lower the camera so you can see a little better. Here we go. Okay, that's it. I'll take this. We'll clean it off a little bit, see what it looks like. That looks pretty close to what those videos show. That's pretty good. So now, oops. So now we're going to do it the way that I have been taught to do it and the way I feel is the proper way. I'm going to take these two pieces, and instead of taking no space, I'm going to take a tiny sliver of space. I'm talking, if this is 0.07 thick, it's going to be like 0.35. It's going to be very, very small amount of space. Not much, just a tiny, tiny bit. In reality, I probably don't need to take any space, but the more space I give it, the more opportunity I have of a full penetration, good quality weld. So, I'll try the right rod here. Yep. So, again, 6013. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tack it to this piece. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Tiny, tiny bit of space. Now it opened up for me a little bit because of the shrinkage. Just close that up a little bit. That'll do. Okay. Clean it up. Oops. So now what I'm going to do is I got this tacked. I've got it sitting on my tack elevated again, so I have a little bit of space between the table. Here's where the trick comes in. Instead of running it really hot, I can turn it down. So according to Blue Demon's recommendations for 332-6013, I have a range of 60 to 80 amps with this 332-6013. I'm going to run right at that 60 amp mark I'm going to turn my hot start down a little bit so I don't blow through the edge. And when I start, I'm just going to keep a continuous speed. A fast speed, because it's thin, but a continuous speed. I'm going to tack it to the table too, again. Light up. And then we're going to run a constant speed, one pass. That's it. Brush it off. Okay. And you can see two very clear differences. Whoops. Constant, tack. Look how much smaller that bead is. Look how much heat affected zone there is. I can see the heat affected zone from here all the way to over here, whereas this heat affected zone is here to right about there. So a lot smaller. It's also a consistent bead. And look at the back. Again, straight, tack. Look how much more penetration I get. I got full penetration all the way through there for the most part. Here, I barely have anything. Let's clean it off and take a closer look. Okay. You can see not much of anything. You can kind of see here a lot more penetration. That indicates typically it'll be a stronger weld. But let's test that theory, shall we? So in most instances, butt welds should be stronger than the base material itself. We'll come over to the vise. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right. I'm going to put this weld right in so the crease is right at the edge. That way I don't have the opportunity to bend the material. I want to bend it right in the middle of that weld. Okay. Yep, that's about as good as I'm going to get. Now I'm going to take a wrench and I'm going to pry on this thing. I'll probably do it by hand. Probably even do it by hand, but I'm going to take some vice grips or whatever I can get quickly. Where's my pipe wrench at? Oh. Oh, don't do that. Almost broke it. Take these will be quicker. So I'll take these and I'm going to see if I can't break this weld. I'm also trying to grab it right on the end there. Okay, so it's not breaking, which is a good sign. But, oh, well, I may have spoke too soon. I may have spoke too soon. See how it started to open up a little bit? It is, in fact, opening up. Let me put it in here. Do it again. So we're going to do a little bit of metal fatigue here. Okay, so it broke right in the weld. Let's look at it. What do I have? Okay. So you can see, it might be hard to see in the camera. I don't know. But you can see some porosity. And you can see how little penetration there is. You see how the filler metal and the weld penetrated maybe half at best. So this weld clearly isn't stronger than the base material itself. Let's try this one and see the difference. Or maybe I eat my words. Trying to get it right on the edge here. There we go. Okay. So again, right at the edge. I'm trying to do it the same way I did the other one to give it a fair of an opportunity as I can. I don't know if I'm going to break. Oh, yep. Where'd it break? Okay. So this one, as you can see, did not break in the weld. Matter of fact, it broke right outside in the heat affected zone, which is typically the weakest point. Gotta love technology. So it did originate in the crater, but it did not go through the weld. It went off to the side in the heat affected zone where the weakest spot of a weld typically is. So, moral of the story, tacking method doesn't work. It's weaker. All you need to do is you need to pick the correct rod size and the correct amperage. Do a little bit of practice, playing around with the settings, get it right, and then weld. They make rods smaller than 332. They make 16th inch. They make 5/64ths. They make all sorts of different sizes to fit your application. This tacking method does not work, and that's proof. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Blue Demon for supplying all this equipment for me. I greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to do as much for them as I can since they're supporting me. That'll be it for now. As you guys know, my videos have slowed down a little bit because of my new job. I'm working on trying to revamp things a little bit and able to get this podcast rolling. We're going to do a little bit more. I got the last episode for this first season coming up. It's going to be kind of a compilation. So I'm working on it. I'm sorry for the delay. Things have been a little crazy. This end of the year stuff with companies is they're all trying to get work done before the end of the year. So we're running ragged. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. See you later.